Good morning for our hip flow, a hip-focused yoga flow class. It's so funny because it's kind of like it's 60 degrees, but it's sort of a cool 60, I guess, with the dampness. So we need a block. Deb, can I hear you?
Yep.
Oh, I can.
Yep.
Just testing that. Got somebody at home on Zoom. All right, great. So we need a block today, and we're going to start off coming down on our back. And I like to lift my rib cage and settle my shoulder blades underneath me and settle my rib cage on the mat and my arm bone into my shoulder socket, my skull comfortably supported underneath me. And you can have your knees bent, probably useful. You could certainly be stretched out if that's preferable to you as we just come into our breath to come into our interior space. Starting with an inhalation that deepens. And a responding deep exhalation. And I'd like to, with your awareness, I want you to follow the path of your breath as you invite it to deepen and lower in your body, right? So when I have a short inhalation, it's all up in my lungs. When I deepen, I really use my diaphragm and I start to fill into my belly. And what I want to explore, because we're really talking about hips today and how hips connect into core and how hips work with legs, I want to notice where the breath is in my hip system. So if I deepen my inhalation, I can feel how the lower abdomen really fills in, right, as the diaphragm pushes down here. And then when I exhale, I can notice that there's a tugging up from my pelvic floor, which is my root chakra, right, way at the bottom of me. There's a tugging up on my exhale, and all the core muscles kind of ripple up towards my chest. So I just want you to notice that engagement of what the hips do at the bottom of the breath, if you will. The transition from inhale to exhale. So it takes on the deep inhalation time for the air to reach down and fill into my lower belly. And then on the exhalation, though, the first part of the exhalation is this lifting up the pelvic floor, starts my exhalation, and the exhalation continues on up towards my chest, and then out through my nostril, or my mouth. All right, keep going, just kind of noticing that for yourself. So I'm inviting that low awareness of what I'm calling the bottom of the inhalation and top of the exhalation. Just really notice that. And as we go through our practice, you may notice it subsequently, you may forget about it. And either way, either one will be fine because there'll be lots going on, but it's just something I'm inviting. So we're going to come into bridge next. And I want my feet on the ground. I like to touch my heels with my fingertips, and I know that my feet are not too far away, like they're in a good position pretty much under my knees to support lifting the hips in bridge. And I want to invite my arms down by my side, and I'd like to press my hands and my feet equally, and inhale, feeling the whole abdominal region up into the top of my bridge. My chest chases my chin. And then I'm going to exhale and float back down. We'll do that a few times. I'm going to inhale, pressing And exhale and float back down. Really press hands and feet to inhale up. Feel that expansion of air. And then tugging from the pelvic floor, exhale, float back down. A couple more times, just at your own pace. All right, building on a little bit. So my feet are about hip width apart on the mat. I can lift up my sacrum, lay it back down, so I'm really lengthening my tailbone underneath me. The curve of my lumbar spine is there. So I'm really virtually lying on the floor in a similar position as I would be if I was standing, right? Except that I don't have my legs aren't extended for standing, but every other part of my body is just like if I was standing. And I want to start to march, lifting each alternate foot. And what I'm trying to do is really hug my hips in, draw my waist in. So I'm using all of these muscles that I normally use to stabilize my walk in this supine position. So this is sort of number one, we're going to build on here. So just notice what you notice, just sort of taking this walk, keeping my hips stable on the ground. Great. Stop the walking for a moment. And now what I'm going to do is press my hands, press my feet, come up into my bridge, and I'm going to suggest that you may not be quite as high as you were before. And what I want to do before I do anything is really hug glute med, side of hips in, hug bottom in. Don't tighten the top, sort of focus on around my sits bones, drawing in my glutes, the lower part of my glutes, and drawing in my waist so I feel really supported, and I'm going to walk again. So I'm going to walk here. So I'm trying to walk without like a lot of movement, right? So here's a lot of movement. I'm trying to hug everything in, so I'm walking with these super supported hips. Couple more. All right, good. Come on down, hug my knees in for a moment. Release, put my feet on either side of my mat so I feel my mat underneath my feet. And I'm going to relax my whole torso by waving, windshield wipering my knees from side to side. So go to one side, go as far as you go. You may not go all the way, that's okay. Go as far as your knees comfortably go. And just invite your core to just completely relax here. So there's sort of no big job for the core. We just want to breathe and relax, and windshield wiper. Taking this opportunity to kind of release all tension and relax our hips while we do this for a few more cycles. One more time, and then back to center, and pull my feet back into where they were, hips width. Lengthen my tailbone in case it's shortened at all. I'm not in a pelvic tilt. I do have a lumbar spine curve, right? But if anything, I'm slightly in a tilted position as opposed to an anterior tilt, right? So this would be an anterior tilt. This would be a full pelvic tilt, and I'm right in the middle with a little elevation of my hip bones in the front and elevation of my core in the front. Great, so keeping all of that, I'm going to pull my right knee into my chest. And when I do that, it would be easy to pull into a pelvic tilt. And if that's more comfortable for you, you certainly can do that. or you can leave the lumbar spine curved there while you do this stretch. So I leave that up to you. And then let's explore some of the direction that our hips are able to move in. So let's take an external rotation. So I'm going to take my knee out to the side. So my glute max and piriformis is doing this. I'm going to pull it back. I can keep my hand on my knee. And then I'm going to draw it a little internal rotation, which is sort of a bunch of muscles contribute to this internal rotation. It's actually funny. It's not one muscle's job to do that. Kind of a bunch of muscles contribute to that. And you'll notice you have much more external rotation than you do internal rotation. Everybody will be a little bit different in terms of how much they have. And one more time, let's explore the external rotation, and then come back and explore the internal rotation. And the right foot can come down and just kind of settle everything down. Make sure you're feeling really secure on your back. And we'll bring the left knee in. Again, once again, you can pull it all the way into a pelvic tilt if that's better for you, or you can leave your lumbar spine and just be here, and then take it into an external rotation. You might notice a difference on my left versus my right. You might notice the opposite hip behaving differently as well while you do this transition. And coming in internal. Taking it out external. We'll be exploring this movement in a few different positions in our practice. One more time here, let's take it external, and then come back internal, take it internal. And I can put that foot down, great. And let's hug my knees in. And you've got two options here. You can roll up directly, or you can roll to your side. We're going to come onto all fours. So whatever way is most comfortable for you to get there. I guess I did in fact warm up enough to take this off. So we're going to come into all fours, and I want to invite my hands under my shoulders, and if I have trouble with my wrists, there's nothing wrong with being on fists here. If I'm on my hands, I like to spread my hands. I'm sort of spreading the hold through all my fingers and knuckles, not just relying solely on my wrist. My knees are underneath my hips. And I like to draw my triceps underneath me, so it's kind of shining my biceps forward, triceps back. And then I feel a little bit stronger. And we're going to come into cat and cow. So I prefer to untuck my toes. Some people like to keep their toes tucked, so I leave that to you. Your spine is long, hug your waist in, and we'll start with cow. So I'm going to inhale, drop my belly, lift my pelvis, lift my head, roll back my shoulders into cow. And I'm going to exhale and pull everything in, pelvic tilt underneath, and draw up my thoracic spine to the sky for cat. And keep going with this kind of the fullest gesture you can do. Is great for warming up the body with your inhalation and exhalation at your own pace. Let's have 2 more full cycles. And then release your spine to neutral. Neck is in line with my spine. Feeling really strong in the arms, strong in the legs. Let's come into bird dog. So What's great about bird dog is it's really strengthening my lower back in particular, as well as the other sides of my core, but the focus is on sort of really strengthening here. And it's doing that through having my hips be really still. So just as we did when we were marching in bridge, I want to hug my glute medius in, draw my waist in so I'm feeling super stable. Then I can inhale my left arm and my right leg up. And exhale and come back in with a nose scratch, and then inhale side two. Exhale, we'll do a couple more. Beautiful. Let's come back to the notion of cat and cow. And now what I want to do is I'm going to leave my head and my shoulders and my rib cage, my thoracic spine in place. And I'm just going to cat and cow with my lower body, with my hips, okay? So to do that, if you want to watch me for one, I'm going to inhale, my belly drops and fills with an inhalation as I lift my pelvis up, anterior tilt. I'm going to exhale, drawing my pelvis down into a pelvic tilt and drawing up from my pelvic floor up to my ribs. Inhale. Notice what you notice. Couple more. Come back to neutral. All right, good. We're going to build on, we've got two more bird dog ideas here. Okay, so the next one is bird dog clock. And I'll show it to you from this angle, and then I will change angles and make sure that you can see it clearly. I'm going to inhale my left arm and my right leg. And then what I want to do is, I'm a big giant, well, not so giant, but I'm a grandfather clock. And I want to just tick-tock. So I'm just swinging my leg and my arm as if I was a clock. So that's from the front angle. I'll show it to you from behind. So to do this, I really got to hug in my hips, hug in my waist, right? Because I don't want to be wiggling in here, right? I'm really still, as your grandfather clock would be. Whether it was made of metal or wood, it would be the casing would be still, and your body is the casing, and the clock movement is just your leg and your arm. All right, shake that out. It is such a strong move. Great. And now I'm going to do side two. So I'm going to inhale, right arm, left leg, and then exhale as you start to move. So exhale and inhale as you move, staying really still. Great, bring everything in, shake it out. Let's go back to, we'll have three more full cat and cows, so completely full cat and cow. So inhale, exhale, and just notice what you notice of the lower part of this cat and cow since you've added everything back together. Great, so I do have a bird dog challenge coming up, and We are going to try to do it 3 times each side. So this is quite a bit, and you can watch me for 1. I'm going to inhale, exhale, put my hand down. I'm stepping my right foot near my right hand because I want to stand up, okay? And then I'm going to stand up and see if I can bring up this knee. You see I'm having some balance challenge, but I'm bringing it up. And then I'm going to come back down and repeat. So we're going to do 2 more on this side. So hand comes down and I step and I stand up and see if I can lift this knee. And then I swing that leg back, go back into my bird dog. Hand comes down, I step, stand up, lift my knee, standing nice and tall, come back down. Shake everything out. Very good. There's a child's pose coming. All right. Let's go on side 2. So I'm left leg, right arm, left foot, right hand comes down, left foot steps. I stand up, lift my knee, swing back down, come right back into that full bird dog, right? Hand down, foot, stand up, shh, oop. Balance challenge. And last time, hand down and foot and itches. And come back down. Just finish the bird dog. Great. Go right into a child's pose. So I'm going to separate my knees, bring my toes together, slide my hips back, reach my arms forward, take my forehead down to the ground. Now I end up fairly low. You might be a little bit higher up here, and that's fine. I just want to send my hips back as far as I can. So just have the energy going back, even if you're a little bit elevated. Just send those hips back and breathe here. Inhale and come back forward. Let us tuck our toes, strong arms. We're gonna be invited up into down dog. So with an inhalation, let those hips rise, 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 rise. Thighs go back behind you, arms stretch long. Torso, spine stretches long, head is relaxed, chest is melting towards my thighs. Weight is even between my legs and my feet. Go ahead and pedal here. And inhale, full expression of your dog. Open your mouth and exhale. Shh. Let's inhale our left leg up in the air. Bend my knee. So I'm trying to really just open my hip here. So I just want to get as much openness as I can get. And you might end up being here, right? So wherever you are is perfectly fine. Just be where hip openness is for you. And just breathe. Remember, I am a little bit made out of rubber, so don't try to press into something that isn't going to work for you. Just kind of be where it is for you is perfect, and we'll breathe. Inhale here, exhale, turn so your hips are facing the mat again and put that foot down, and then inhale and just kind of wiggle around a little bit. Exhale. And then inhale your right leg up. Same thing, and you might find a difference. One side of your hip to the other might be more open or less open, so just honor that. Just go with how it feels and breathe. And inhale here. Exhale, turning the hips back to the mat. Putting my foot down and then inhale and sort of shake it out a little bit. Exhale. Inhale my left leg up. Exhale, step my left foot forward. Let's bring my right knee down. And some people need to step forward with a couple of steps, and that's okay. We're going to come into this low lunge, and what I want to do is this front knee is stacked over my ankle, and then I'm really dropping and lowering my hips. So I'm trying to lower my hip as much as I can. So you can see how my hip starts here and it moves towards you there, right? So I'm trying to lower my hip, and let's breathe here. So inhale here. Let's exhale and push my hips back and let these toes come up into a half split. And inhale, come forward. Stretching my hip flexor. Exhale, come back, half split, featuring the hamstring. Inhale forward. And exhale back. And inhale, forward, hands down. Let's go ahead and step back to down dog. Inhale. Open my mouth and exhale. Inhale my right leg up. Exhale, step my right foot forward near my right hand if I can, or take it in a couple of steps. That's fine. Right knee stacked over ankle, dropping my hip. Inhale. Exhale, hips go back, my toes come up. Inhale. Exhale. 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 Inhale, coming back forward. Let's exhale and step back to down dog. Let's inhale forward to plank, and then I give you options so you can lower yourself to the ground however you like. So you can lower knees and chest. You can do a half chaturanga, or you can do a full chaturanga. So whatever works for you here to lower yourself down to the ground. Hands underneath my shoulders. Let's inhale, a little back bend, lift my back ribs for cobra. Exhale, back down, and let's make a little pillow for my forehead. Forehead down, neck in line with spine, and keep drawing my shoulders back, right, because they can sort of collapse forward, but I can keep drawing my shoulders back. And my legs are together, and we're going to do some leg circles. I'll show it to you from this angle, and I'll change angles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to inhale and lift my legs up in the air. I'm going to exhale and separate my legs. I'm going to inhale, bring them back down on the ground. I'm going to exhale and bring them together. Then I'm going to go in the other direction. So I'm going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And so just kind of keep this pattern going a few more times. Notice what you notice. One more time. All right, why don't we come up into child's pose, right? So I'm going to push myself up, separate my knees, toes together, and slide on back. This time I can reach my arms back behind me, clasp my hands together, roll my shoulders back, and just breathe here. Maybe lift my arms up off my body. Really relax the core. Beautiful. Let's inhale, slide our hands forward, come on up. We're going to come up for some standing work. Let us strong arms, inhale to down dog. Open your mouth and exhale. Inhale to your tippy toes. Exhale, walk forward. Forward fold. Enjoy this forward fold. Take some sways, a little extra breath here. Catch up so you've got an inhalation to half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands in front of my heart. Great. I want to change this view slightly. Great. Just so you don't feel like my head is scraping the ceiling. All right, great. So we're going to do a standing series that's going to feature a lot of chair. So chair is going to be how we come in and out of our standing poses. So standing at the front of your mat, you want to be hip width apart. Hugging in my hips, drawing in my waist, lengthening my tailbone, lifting my chest. I feel really nice and tall. Arm bones in the socket. Let's inhale here. Let's exhale and sink into chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, revolve to the right. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to center. Exhale, revolve to left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to center. Exhale, I'm going to step back into warrior two. And inhale, relax your shoulders. And exhale. Just an instinct today. Let's inhale and flip my hands. Kind of helps to settle my shoulders a little bit. Exhale, flip them back down. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, my arms up. Exhale, come over into side angle. All right, great. So breathe in side angle. So when I'm in warrior two, my hips are where they're comfortable, right? I don't demand that they open to the side of the room. I don't demand that they turn to the front of the room. Like they're kind of in between where my hips naturally are. And that's where we want to be, right? We want to be where I'm comfortable. We're breathing here in side angle, feeling the strength of our legs and the strength of our hips to hold our torso up. Inhale here. Exhale, come up and over to reverse. Let's inhale, our arms up. Exhale, put our hands on the ground. And you've got two choices. You can do a vinyasa flow, or you can simply step back to down dog. So I leave that to you. Do what feels good to you. We'll meet up in down dog. Inhale. And exhale. Let's inhale up on our tippy toes. Exhale. Walk forward, forward, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands in front of my heart. Reassert that you're standing hip width apart. Inhale. Exhale, sink into chair. Inhale here. Exhale, step into warrior two, side two. Inhale. Exhale. Notice again your hips, that they're comfortable. Let's inhale and flip our palms up. Exhale, flip our palms down. Inhale. Exhale, reverse. Feel the strength of your hips here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower down for side angle. So just feeling all the support of your hip structure to help you sustain your side angle. You're breathing here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, arms up, and then exhale, step into your chair. Great. So now we're going to stick to the chair and not go down for vinyasa. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add on, I'm going slow today, I just glanced at the clock. We're going to add on, so here we are. Let's inhale here, and exhale, step into warrior two, side one, inhale, exhale, reverse. We're going to go a little bit quicker on the breath. Inhale, my arms up, exhale, side angle. Inhale to come up, exhale, reverse. Inhale to face front, so my hips do turn to the front for crescent lunge, right? So my hips do comfortably come to the front. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, revolve. Inhale, up, and exhale, step for chair. Inhale, step into warrior two, other side. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, over side angle. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, reverse. Feeling the strength of the hips as we pick up the pace. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, revolve. Inhale, ooh, that's a big lift to lift me up like that, right? And then exhale, chair. Continuing. Inhale, warrior two, side one. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, arms, exhale, side angle. Inhale, up, exhale, reverse on the breath. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, revolve. Inhale. And we're going to exhale. I'm going to swing my arms back and down and lift my knee. I'm going to inhale and step down. We're going to do two more of those. And then exhale, chair. There we go. Inhale, warrior two, side two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, arms up, exhale, side angle. Inhale, arms up, exhale, reverse. Feel the support of the hips. Inhale, crescent, so my hips have turned forward. Exhale, revolve. Inhale, this is that big lift. Inhale and lift me up, right? Now I'm going to exhale and lift my knee and swoop back, and inhale and exhale and inhale. You see, I got into a tiny bit of trouble. And exhale and inhale and exhale for chair. And then inhale, come on up. Beautiful. Beautiful. Watching the time here. Good, 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 good. So let's go ahead, and we've been doing tree this week. Let's go ahead and do tree. Actually, I want to do one thing before tree. Let's do some psoas kicking before tree. So lengthen your tailbone, feel lifted here, right? Hugging in my waist, hugging in my hips. I'm going to step my right foot back, and then I'm just going to kick. So it's the hip flexors kicking, right? So this is my psoas doing a kick. So a little psoas work here. We'll be visiting the psoas when we come down on the ground too. Two more. Great. So sort of march a little bit, stand, chugging, hugging, lengthen. Step my left foot back and kick. That's it. Much a little bit. Great. So getting ready for tree. So tree is a lot about what I'm doing all in here, right? So I want to lengthen my tailbone and lift here and hug in my waist and really hug in the sides of my hips, right? Because in tree, it's easy to kind of end up like this, right? As opposed to hugging it in. So you can test it out and then hug it in. So you can test how that feels, right? My foot is either going to be, my left foot is either going to be, it can kickstand, it can be here, or it can be up, here on my thigh, right? So those are my options of where I want to be for tree. So pick your position. And I like Anjali Mudra, palms together. This pressing in feels to me like it gives me a nice sort of chest-focused connection to what's going on with my hips and my core, right? So you can lift up if you're happy doing that, but if you want to just stay here, this is also kind of a cool place to stay. I'm having a balanced challenge day, which can happen. I can always do this at a wall if I prefer and need a little extra support. And step it out and shake it out. Got a little cramping in the calf area. Great. We'll get to left foot. Anjali Mudra. So draw, lengthen, draw in, press. And then be fine. So I just don't want to put my foot on my knee, so it can be here, right? Or my foot could be here, or I could use a kickstand. Whatever works for me. Or a wall. I'm recovering from a left ankle injury, so that's why I've got more trouble on this side. Again, lengthen. Great. And step it out. Beautiful. Let's come to the front of our mat. Inhale my arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And just go ahead and bring your knees back, because mostly you want to come around to supine. And we're going to do some more psoas work with my block on our way to Savasana. So come back down, and just as we did in the beginning, get everything comfortable so you're like in a standing position, but you're on the ground and your knees are starting out bent. And I do have the curve of my lumbar spine. And now what I want to do is I'm lifting my hips and putting this block at this low level, the lowest level, underneath my sacrum. So my low back is cascading off. I'm not catching any vertebrae. I'm only catching the bone of my sacrum to support me here. And so I can just sort of find where's an ideal spot where I feel supported. And we call this supported bridge. And then what I want to do is this. I'm going to leave my left leg bent, and I'm going to draw my right leg up. And I'm not pulling it back where I get a lot of hamstring stretch. I just want to kind of be perpendicular, and if I've got to bend to my knee, that's okay. Don't worry about how straight it is. And start off with a pointed toe here, and just notice what you feel in your hip flexor just when you come into this 90-degree flexed position. And then pull your toes back into a flex, and lower your leg down, and again, just notice what you feel in your hip flexor as you lower down, lower down, lower down. So this is your psoas that you're activating. Point your toe at the bottom and pull up, pointed. Flex and lower, flex. Just notice what you feel, point and lift. Flex and lower. Point and lift. Flex and lower. We'll go one more time here. Really just notice this whole region. Point and lift. And flex and lower. Great. Bend that knee in. Second leg, left leg comes up. Again, just 90 degrees. I'm not trying to get any hammy stretch here. I just want to be about 90 degrees flexion. Pointed. I'm going to flex, pull my toes back, and I'm going to lower. And just notice what you notice, and point and lift. And I can tell you already that my right side felt different than my left side, and that's not uncommon for me because I have more right hip issues than left hip issues. So I'm really noticing that. So you notice what you notice, because we are all different in a beautiful way. Couple more. Beautiful. Put that foot back down on the ground and just sort of breathe in this supported bridge. Just kind of use that lower, that idea of really catching the bottom of the inhalation, top of the exhalation. Beautiful. Now lift my hips to take this block out. We'll come into a figure 4. So I'm going to take my right heel and put an ankle and put it on my left knee, and then grab under my left leg, and I want to draw that towards me, and I can use my right elbow to open my right knee a little bit more. So I'm stretching the glute on the right side. So see how you feel here. Just really breathe. Beautiful. Inhale to uncross. Put my right foot on the ground. Cross the left ankle onto right knee. Then I'm going to capture that thigh. Pull it in. Maybe my left elbow keeps my left knee open, and breathe here. And just notice how it feels. Notice any differences. All right, then inhale to come out of that. And then we're going to just happy baby, or if you want some spinal twisting, kind of any final movement that you'd like to take before we invite ourselves into Savasana. And then we will lengthen our legs. I always have to move up a little bit. Lengthen our legs. Really kind of just sort of shake out your feet. So really relax your feet. So you don't want to either be flexed or pointed, right? You want super relaxed feet. Let that relaxation come into the calves, come into your thighs, come into your hips. Lift up to lengthen your tailbone. Relax your belly with your breathing. Relax your chest and heart. Relax your arms. Arm bone comes into the socket. Maybe lengthen your arms down by your side, palms up. That really helps the arms kind of drop back against the mat in a beautiful way. Feel your head's in a good spot. Feel the natural curvature of your spine. Thoracic really connected to the mat. Neck and lumbar lifted off of the mat. And just come into your breath here. Sometimes I need to lengthen my sacrum and tailbone. And finding that deep inhalation that comes to the bottom and then the top of the exhalation from your pelvic floor. With your breath, just notice how your hips feel now after the focus and the work that we engaged. It's a combination of stretching, range of motion, and strengthening. So just keep noticing what you're noticing as we have a few moments of stillness in Savasana. And you can deepen your breath. watching at home, you can have a longer savasana. Otherwise, you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes just to start to invite some movement. Maybe I start to move my wrist around and rock my feet from side to side. And let that movement grow into some stretching of my limbs and see how my hips feel inside that stretching. Just as you think about coming up, you've got two options. You can hug your knees in and rock up, or you can roll to one side. So whichever option appeals to you today, if you're coming up to sit, you can take. We'll come up and sit nice and tall. Hands on our knees, palms up, palms down. But also you can sit, however you're comfortable. You can kneel. However you're most comfortable is how I'd like to invite you to sit. Let's have some cycles of breath just together. You take your neck from side to side for a moment. And then let's inhale through our nostril. Open our mouths inside out. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Exhale, sigh it out. Thank you for joining me for this hip-focused practice today. I have a tendency to focus on something for the 3 Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 classes, and next week's we've been kind of moving downstream. So next week we're gonna have a leg-focused practice next week if you want to join us. So thank you. I shall conclude the video.